Hi, I'm your host Vasco Duarte. Welcome to the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, where we share tips and tricks from Scrum Masters around the world. Every day, we bring you inspiring answers to important questions that all Scrum Masters face day after day. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Success Thursday this week with Linda van Sinten. Hi, Linda. Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you.
So Thursdays are the success days, right? Where we talk about what success means for us as Scrum Masters. But there's a tool we use, the retrospective, to help us get there. So let's dive into that first. So share with us, what's your favorite retrospective format and why?
Well, that's really a hard one because my favorite format is something different every time. I like to stir and mix things up a lot. And I'm always searching for new ways, new games, new tools to use in my retrospective. I love to use, for example, Dixit cards or story dice or something out of the ordinary, because I noticed that a lot of teams like to get stuck into what did I like, what should I lose, or what should I change or keep. I like to be more in the creative area and have them think in a totally different way. I work a lot with the nerdy kind of people. I'm also a nerdy kind of person myself, but it helps to get them out of their comfort zone to do something out of their comfort zone. In the beginning, they're always complaining and saying, oh, there you have Linda again with her strange games and her strange stuff. But in the end, I often hear them say, like, yeah, it did work because we now came up with things and we used the more creative part of our brain, so to say, and not the rational part that we are used to using during the day. So now we came up with more creative ideas as well, and more creative solutions and creative actions. So I like to stir things up. I don't have a favorite one. I do have often, how do you say, a backup retrospective. So in case I don't have time to really prepare very well, I always like to use the 4Ls. So go back to basic indeed. But yeah, it doesn't have my preference. I like to mix.
Absolutely. And it is about getting people ready to think, not necessarily differently, but perhaps deeper. The goal of the retrospective is really to get the team to creatively come up with ideas of how to make their lives better. And definitely the getting them out of the comfort zone during the retro helps with that, because a lot of the barriers are then on the side. They're not real. They're not there during the retrospective, and people can think more creatively.
I also love to use the Liberating Structures. They also really fit for use in retrospective. That's also how I started drawing them, because if I like to draw things, I'm really visual. So if I use something, for example, a liberating structure, I like to draw it first so that I have it in my mind better. It's also when I read a book, I draw it afterwards to capture it in my mind better. But they are really well suited for retrospectives and also to get everybody's voice on the table.
Absolutely. Is there a favorite liberating structure you use in retrospectives?
I like to challenge myself to try new ones every time because I want to learn them all. There are some easy ones like 1, 2, 4 all that you can almost always use, which is also not so hard to learn. There are way more difficult ones, for example, Panarchy, which I did it once, but it's taking way longer. I like to use the eco cycle, which is also really nice. It has a link to retrospectives, the traditional ones, because it also has the exploration phase where you have the new ideas. You look at birth. So what things did we already try and are kind of starting but not yet mature? You look at mature things that are already really going well. So it's the what goes well part of the retrospective. And you have the creative destruction in there, which talks about what are you doing, what you should stop doing. And I love the 2 traps in the eco cycle. So you have the poverty trap, the reason why your ideas don't go into birth. So ideas that you have that stay ideas, what is happening there? Why are you not taking the actions that you should take? It's always nice to look into those. And there's the rigidity trap, why can't you stop the things that you should be stopping? Is it the ease of just keep on doing the things that you know, or what is behind that? And to investigate that, I also really like. So EcoCycle is, I think it's one of my favorites of the Liberating Structures.
Very good. And we'll put the link to all of those on the show notes so that people can go and explore them further. All right, now we turn our attention to the big question, right? It's Thursday, it's Success Thursday here on the podcast, and we want to explore what success means for you as a Scrum Master, Linda. So share that with us.
Then I'll grab back also to the story of yesterday to create the space in which a team can flourish and can create new experiments and ideas. So to be able to create that space, that safe space in which all the voices can be on the table, everybody can be heard, and we can generate the best experiments, the best ideas, and make people be happy and make a team be a great team to work in.
How do you look at that? So, of course, that's a generic definition, create a safe space to hear everyone where the team can flourish. But as you reflect on your role as a Scrum Master, specifically the day-to-day, how do you evaluate if you're actually getting to that place?
By talking to people and staying curious and asking questions. I love it when I hear, for example, when I showed my drawings, we also talked about it this week, and then you hear someone say, hey, but if this is possible, then probably also this and this can be done. If you hear people saying that, then I'm like, yeah, I ignited something. There was a spark there, and it can turn into a fire. Yeah, I love it when I hear that. Those kind of things of people, or people saying, well, hey, now I see you do something that reminds me of this, or then maybe I can also try this. Maybe you call it the butterfly effect or the rippling in the river. So I drop a stone and then stuff happens, which is nice. I think it's really nice. I love what I do. I think when I feel like I ignite a spark in someone.
And how do you know that you've done that?
I think you can see it in people's eyes, even virtually online, and you feel the energy, and you see people starting to be enthusiastic. And in the beginning, sometimes I had teams where it felt like I'm pulling a dead horse, but then this spark comes, and then the horse starts walking again, and it does things on its own. And you see the same with people and teams. It's when you ignite that one part, and then that part ignites other parts in that person. And to see them flourish and to see them picking up stuff that they didn't think before that they could do or that it was possible. That's what I like. And I think you can see it in people.
That's a good point. The way I define it for myself is exactly helping teams do things that not even they thought were possible. I like the opposite metaphor you just used, which is feeling like pulling a dead horse.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like that. And I think it's a great contrast, right? Like, what's the opposite of that? Well, it's when the horse is pulling you, right? It's when the team is coming up with ideas and you're struggling even to keep up with what they want to change and improve.
Yeah.
That was a great way to describe it. So thank you for sharing that, Linda.
You're welcome.
Part of a successful Scrum Master job is to help the product owner. Tomorrow we explore that critical role in Scrum, the product owner role. Tune in to learn about product owner anti-patterns, what you can do to help the product owner, and a real-life example of what a great product owner is and what made it so. Tomorrow on our Friday Product Owner episode. See you tomorrow. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.